the panel discussion will be digital transformation in NBFCs infusing intelligence across lending processes, and the moderator for the session will be Dr. Kumaran Sampath, Managing Director and CEO of Aegma Capital. Please put your hands together to have him on the stage, please. And the panelist of the session will be Ms. Swapnil Dixit, Vice President, Products, Avanti Finance. It's Mr. Swapnil Dixit, Vice President, Products, Avanti Finance. And next I request Mr. Balaji, TK, AVP Engineering, Flexiloans to kindly join. Up next, I would invite on the stage Mr. Udesh, Ullas, COO, Muthoot, Microfin to kindly join. Please put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. Up next, I request Mr. Rohit, Mathur, Head of Digital Transformation, Nucleus Software Limited to kindly join. Up next, I invite on the stage Mr. Akshaya Kumar Batta, Senior Vice President, Sales, Sinch to kindly join. And next, I request Mr. Raunak Dembla, Founding Member, Decentro to kindly join. So they are the panelists of the session, and the focal points of this panel discussion will be low code and no code, automation in debt collection, artificial intelligence, business process management, robotic process automation. So over to the panel.
Yeah, hi everyone. Good afternoon. I think firstly let me thank, because I hardly get time in the end, so I would like to thank Anupam, Ashish, Akankshi for putting up a fabulous show once again, and let the legacy grow forward and make it big. So with that, I'll start this session. So just to quote to the previous panel discussion, so I was actually made to speak on the last. So that was also a very difficult one, but I think this was the most difficult one now. So generally after the well-spread lunch, so you feel little light on your stomach is what I understand. Okay, I'm sure I think everybody had a good lunch. Okay, just a small thought in everybody's mind. Do you all recall when was the first time a nuclear bomb was dropped? Any guesses? A nuclear bomb was dropped. Which date, which year? Any guesses? And you have a prize for that. Yep. Yeah. Sorry? Fantastic. I think you should give him a clap for it. This particular question has a very relevant discussion for this topic. Can you all imagine the AI technology was used during those times in a different avatar for what do I say, bombing the Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Fantastic. So with that, we'll just start. So fabulous tech companies all around, and the digital world is evolving, and the way we are doing our businesses as compared to our earlier days and now, it's all about digital. It's a very different world altogether. As we speak, I think the digital transformation is happening all through. And it's not like those days where we had the tech changing. It should take its own time, but today it is not like that. Every second, every day, the world is evolving in a different avatars. So I would say we are in a tsunami of digital changes, and no less than the worst tsunami was hit in Chennai. So I think we'll take this legacy forward. So in my view, for any digital transformation or building a very larger organization in terms of digital, but the core fundamentals remain the same for any business to grow or to sustain. So what I feel is the first would be the customer experience. The second would be operational efficiency. The third would be data-driven intelligence. And last would be the financial insight and risk control. Trust me guys, I was talking about everything revolving around digital. And I will not take much time because I have fabulous speakers with me coming with unbelievable knowledge and the kind of transformation they themselves had in their organizations. So I would actually take this first question to the most well-known name, Muthoot Finance, Muthoot Microfinance, Udesh, Ullas, your perspective about the digital changes in your organization, and how have you managed to look at the business in the what a changing world?
Thank you, Kumaran sir, for asking this question. Good afternoon, everyone. Very difficult time, as I said. Speaking after the lunch is always difficult. Just getting into this question. So see, Muthoot Papachan Group is a legacy name. We are here for last 130 years, but the organization which I represent, Muthoot Microfin, is a very late entrant to microfinance sector. We actually started business only in 2010. So coming late is always have the benefit of looking at the best practices, looking at the best of the technology. So we had got that opportunity. We used best of the technology from the initial stage itself. We are one of the few MFIs which is started its operation with complete core banking system. So that has helped us. And this is a very high touch business. So I was just telling them also earlier in the day, we got more than 10,000 feet on street people, and we cater to 1,500 branches, which covers more than 1,000 villages in this country. And we have provided them with mobility solutions, and which help us not only reducing their workload, and it is also helped a lot of turnaround time. There were days microfinance loan used to take 1 or 2 weeks to get sanctioned. Now with the help of technology, if it is a new case, we can disburse in 3 days, and if it is an existing customers, we can even disburse loan in a single day itself. So that's the kind of transformation it had been done over a period of time. And in case of Muthoot also, it is very difficult to get the domain experts in technology, because this is a very peculiar kind of a business. It's not that a universal business as like a banking or a normal NBFC. So what we did is that we have created our own technology team. If you see today, we got more than 100 people strong IT team based out of Kochi, and all our core solutions, LOS, LMS, it's all developed in-house. That has helped us because this is an ever evolving business. There was a massive change happened after demonetization. Before that, it's everything cash disbursement, but demonetization has compelled us to transform into a bank disbursement. So with the in-house technology team, we are able to do that change overnight. Otherwise, also the regulatory changes are very frequent in microfinance. Even April 2022, also we had a massive change in the regulation. So that is also, since we had the technology team in place, we are able to sails through very easily. And COVID is another challenge, because normally microfinance, before COVID, it was almost 99% on-time collections. But COVID is like a biggest stress test which happened. And we had to use technology, because then the delinquency collection, it's a different bowl set altogether. And we have to build solutions into the technology so that we can track these customers and we can ensure that the repayments are coming back to normal. So technology helped us in that way also. And another thing we done is that we have developed a customer app called Mahila Mitra, because in microfinance, normally people will say that the people who lives in the rural or the lower strata of the society are not too tech savvy. They will say that they are using only the feature phone. So what do you do with app? They require a smartphones. But what at least in our experience, we did a survey and we identified that almost 85% of the household is having at least one smartphone. It's not that our customer is using, maybe their husband or a children are using this smartphone. And when we provided this solution to them, see, we have 3.4 million customers, out of which 1.7 million customers downloaded this app, and almost 7 lakhs customers actively using it. So that indicates that if we provide a right solution, this set of customers, I'm not seeing they are averse to adopting it. They are very much encouraging for the digital adoption as well. Yeah. So this has helped us to convert our cash collection, because in microfinance, mostly it's cash collection. So while we speak with this technology, we are able to convert almost 30% of collection into the digital transaction, digital mode, using UPI, BPPS and other stuff. So that's the kind of advancement this is bringing into our organization. My conclusion on this is that we know that digital transformation is not a one-time process. Since the technology is rapidly advancing, I think we have to work very closely with the fintech companies and understand where this is bringing to us. Thank you.
Oh, wow. I think I just want to add one social responsibility cost to the business, because their model is all about helping the most needies in the society. That really brings in a kind of ownership as an organization, because as we do lending activity, one should always keep this in mind. There is also a social responsibility cause in the business. So with that, I think all the gentlemen who are standing close to the nuclear software, I have one question to all of them. Have you ever heard any company in India who have 100% transformed as a fully owned digital NBFC? Anyone there? No one is aware? I think we're all in the digital world, right? We should all be knowing which company completely got evolved as a digital entity. No? So we have Swapnil Dixit from Avanti Finance. I'm extremely proud to have him on board as a speaker. So here we have a finance company which is 100% digital, and I'll not take much time. Swapnil, all yours.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I know I also have about 4 or 5 minutes. So I come from a company called Avanti Finance Private Limited. This was started with the sole purpose of causing population scale financial inclusion. And the people who were involved, or who are the founders, were Mr. Tata, Ratan Tata, and Nandan Nilekani. And we started in end of 2016. I joined in 2017. I had product over there. The couple of things that were defined to us by our mandate itself. So the mandate was not that you grow your AUM to a crazy level very soon, or you turn profitable in 2 years. But the mandate was to think about population scale to think about financial inclusion at a population scale. So how do you really transform people who are outside? And a couple of things that and it has to be a digital play. In fact, one of the things that Nandan told us in the beginning was that think that you will never grow beyond 110 people. And if you are running financial inclusion at the scale of India, and you have to do it with just 100 people, how would you do it? So a couple of things that we incorporated right in the beginning was thinking of scale, even if we are creating the first loan application form. Second was a big role, and a lot of engineering team came from Google Maps background. So crowdsourcing and community sourcing was a very big thing. So how do you create a platform play for population scale with co-creation for hyper-local products, right? So there are a lot of jargon in there, right? But imagine a guy who's living in Haridwar, and his monthly income from a kirana store that he runs or she runs is 5,000, 7,000, 30,000, let's say, right? But during the time of Sawan, jo 2 mahine abhi July ke hote hain, during that time their income can cross up to 70,000 a month also, because they're selling a lot of prasad to the pilgrims coming in. So if you give a loan, how does the loan cash repayment, for instance, mimic the cash inflow? And will the credit bureaus and will account aggregators and all the stuff that we are doing, will they be able to accommodate such huge variety of livelihoods, income generation activities that our very, very diverse nation, specifically India, will have? So those were some of the things that we deal with. It's been it's going to be 7 years here. We have about 1 million customers now. 30-35% of the customers are new to credit. 90-95% are women creditors. And it's growing well. About 300 cities, 300 districts, I would say. And a lot of, most of the book is actually rural, in about 24, I think, states. So we deal with livelihood loans only. So far, we have not given any consumer loans or BNPL loans, but only and only income generation loans. And and as a personal product guy, I think the one thing that as you said, that in digital, one of the things would be customer experience, right? So I look at customer experience in 3 layers. One would be the UI itself, right? How intuitive it is. Like sir, you said that we thought they will not know, and suddenly you saw everyone is like adopting. It's such a complex thing, right? Financial app is not YouTube, right? It's not consumption only. You have to interact with it. So that one is UI. You have to have great UI. You have to have great UX. So for instance, one of the constraint that I work with is that if a laborer or a farmer or anyone who's in a small business comes to my field agents, they should be done in 35 minutes and they should not require second or third or fourth visit at all, right? Because time is money. More for people who are earning less than people who are earning more. So that was one thing. And then comes the LX. That is something that I kind of use for my thing, which is called life experience. So and I always think of this woman I met, Pooja, in Maharajganj in Purvanchal. Abhi Purvanchal is on top of everyone's mind because of Mirzapur, I think. But yeah, so she's a 25-year-old mother of 2, just married, lives in a mud house, very, very broken mud house. But so what is her life experience, or how does her life change by being involved with me or my company for the next 7 years, 5 years, right? The first loan she takes will be probably for her agri input. But if she keeps taking a loan from me for her agri input every single season, then it will look great on my books. Absolutely. Repeat customer, 100%, right? But that's not being fair to her, you know. So this life experience thing, and so what is the next graduation loan? Should she start thinking about a pond? Should she start thinking about field fallow practices? Should she next start thinking about teaching her daughters? So those kind of, I mean, in a holistic financial inclusion way, credit is just one of the things. Okay. So I think that is kind of the long and short.
Oh yeah, I think one word which is absolutely perfect for your organization is, I think digital you have completely transformed, but I would say an organization which is completely impactful. I think your business, the model itself is very impactful. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, so I think all the people who are holding the phones on their hands, there's a small question for you as well. I recall, okay, what do I ask after the lunches? Most of the time we're all busy on the phones. So there's a very relevant question for all of you who all are seeing your phones or holding your phones on hand. I recall a statement which was made way back in early 2000. Dunya mere mutti mein. I'm sure everybody knows the dialogue, right? Trust me guys, the world is evolved. Today everything is Dunya Meri Mutti Mein, that is called your mobile phones. Mobile phones are the new avatar of digital transformation. I think without mobile phone, nothing can happen today. I'm sure everybody will agree, right? I think we're talking about the digital transformation in our business, which is evident in seeing all the tech companies all across in different avatars and performing different activities in our process. We have a champion here, Balaji, my good friend. I was just wondering, Balaji, what do I ask about you? End-to-end process or whatnot, but you're a champion in various subjects, but there are specific questions for you, Balaji. AI is a new word and it's all about AI today. So what do you think about the AI being a game changer in our lending activity?
Happy afternoon. Thank you B2B and thank you NAFCON for putting this wonderful panel. I think this is the best panel I would say because the service provider is also there and the user is also there. And that too from both the sides, from a low code, no code to a AI, both like the veterans of service providers and the usage is also there. Okay, thank you for prompting me that question. I do represent company Flexiloan. We are a 8 years old company. We do MSME loan and then we do supply chain finance. So recently what we did is we've been doing a marketplace activity. That means aggregation platform we built. That's a very recent thing which we did it. Okay, I had that engineering practice for this marketplace. What we are doing right now is like on one end we do have multiple lenders. We understand their policies, credit rating, everything. On the other hand, we do have a MSME. Okay, we try to bridge the gap between them and try to maximize the effort. So that means any MSME come to my platform, we try to maximize and try to get 90 to 100% of loan to them. So that's what we do it right now. Okay, very interesting thing, AI, like AI, the low code, no code, whatever the terminologies are there. I just went and chat GPT, I put the difference between, give me what is that AI, which lending can help. And I also went and put low code, no code. The answers are both same. Okay, fine. From AI perspective, the various use cases where you can able to exploit is like from a customer acquisition perspective, you can able to exploit. Okay, we do sit with a large set of data and see from this data perspective how we can able to spin up and put a best practice into it. Okay, this is one use case I would really recommend everyone to go and exploit. A second use case is from a CRM perspective. Okay, from a CRM perspective, see what kind of a best AI technology tools you can able to deploy it from standpoint. Okay, then from my entire digital onboarding perspective itself. Okay, a customer has come to you. Okay, there is a digital public library interface is there. Okay, through that he has come. You got all the information with him. Every customer is having a good banking habit. You got a complete bank statement with you. You got his complete like Aadhaar, PAN, whatever information you want, you are having it. So you got such a large information, but then why you want to go and deny him? He's coming to you to get some kind of funding. Okay, and predominantly MSME is a 33 trillion economy right now, and from a structured NBFC perspective, you still can able to only cater to 20% of the market segment. Still 80% is open there. Okay, but it is available as such a huge resource. Can you try to maximize it? See whether the best AI platform can be put across to it and see how is it. Okay, try to increase little bit. And this guys employ about 10 crores or 11 crore of employment opportunity they created. Okay, if you can try to maximize that effort, that 11 crore can increase multiple fold. Okay, this is the best tool technology you can able to bring in this credit decisioning perspective. Okay, if you can able to give them a 2 lakh, 3 lakh, for example, a customer comes, he needs a 10 lakh, and if you're denying, you can able to give him 8 lakhs. See whether you can able to maximize a little bit there. So from a maximizing perspective, you can bring it. Then lending is not about only lending to everybody. You should see the collection need to be happening to that. Okay, see where a best technology can able to come to a collection. Okay, split across two things. One is the data, another is technology. Okay, from data, what you can able to do, and from technology, what you can implement. Okay, these two practices, I would say everyone can take it forward and move it across. Okay, whatever we implemented, I'll come back and explain it later. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, Balaji. One thing really recalls my earlier days and the current days. We always said the customer experience in our business model and all that earlier, but now I think it's all about digital experience. With that, I think I'll go to Rohit, Mathur. Rohit, as I was speaking to you, Nucleus as a brand, I think you also evolved over a period of time with the NBFC journey, the banking, also the fintechs now, and very, very well-known name in the in our industry. It was great to have you on board as a speaker. And a very specific question for you: the current trends and how have you evolved over a period of time? At the same time, the collection plays a very critical role in terms of the software is concerned. So your perspective about the your experience.
Sure. Thanks, Kumaran. I think Balaji touched upon that point, and I'm glad that you brought in the collections bit, because collections, everyone in this room, I think we will agree that in lending, you will not lend unless you are sure that you will be able to collect it back, right? I mean, anyone can generate a book of, say, 1 lakh crores, but you need to be sure that you will be able to collect it back one time, right? That's the whole business model. And unfortunately, I mean, this particular bit is not talked about a lot. So I think it's good that we are discussing it. Knowing the collections operations, we all would agree to one point that it's very labor intense operation, right? Because all about follow-ups, it's all about contacting customer, doing a skip tracing, sending notices, sending notifications. So there's a lot of manual activities that is involved, right? In current world, I see that there's a huge scope of automation that we can bring, as technology partners. So we have technology which can help you reduce all these manual intervention. So I was talking to a lot of businesses, and today also a lot of NBFCs, they are doing critical activities like segmentations, the last mile allocations manually, right? Now this doesn't only include the risk of errors, which is human errors, but also it could be a compliance issue in terms of audits. Today technology can help you, there are rule engines so powerful that you can implement complex strategies, and the rule engine would automatically do the last mile allocation, right? That's the beauty of technology, wherein there is zero human intervention in these kind of critical jobs on the collections front. At the same time, kind of generating dunning letters, sending notifications, event-based notifications, all those things can be very well automated. And study says that you can reduce the collections cost by 10 to 15%, if you do these kind of automations in the collections operations. So that's basically the power of automation. And since the topic also talks about intelligence, I think AI, we all would agree that there's a lot of use cases related to collections operations on AI, right? So you can, starting from kind of doing a risk rating of each and every customer, analyzing the behavior of that particular customer, that can be done very efficiently through AI. You can also do personalized communication. I think we were also discussing a point related to how a personalized communication can change the world. So the collections rate can increase around 12 to 15% if you are doing a very personalized communication with the customer, because each customer is different, right? So you can't have a one size fit all kind of technique while you are dealing with a customer. You have to be very specific to his need, and those kind of personalized communication can increase your collection rate. So it's a win-win for both parties. You increase the customer experience, at the same time you are kind of enhancing your collections rate as well. So I think AI from that perspective, that's also adding a lot of benefit onto the collections operation, and I'm sure that it will help growing business grow even better.
I will also add another interesting customer you onboarded and you actually managed that customer. It's a sizable ICICI bank. ICICI Bank is your customer, and imagine guys handling a bank like ICICI and managing the software is absolutely unbelievable. Some thoughts about ICICI Bank?
So it's been, I think it's been, we just completed 38 years of servicing the lending industry, and fortunately ICICI Bank is an example of that. Through our platform, we are testing the portfolio to an extent. If I'm talking about communication, it's around say 23 lakhs of communication that's being generated out of the platform every hour. So that's the volume that we are talking about. At the same time, all the automation that we are saying, I hope we'll be able to do it for those large banks, but more importantly, even for the NBFCs, because I think NBFCs are the one who are doing that kind of last mile lending, and we as technology partner would be eager to collaborate and see how we can contribute to that noble cause, as you were saying, as a social responsibility. So
I really appreciate for your perspective.
Thank you.
We have another tech company, very interesting. And in fact, I was personally amazed with your products, Raunak. So I think it's been a very evolving and very challenging times in our industries. You have the most toughest competition going all through, surfaced lower. We're not even seeing what competition is all about. So I was just thinking, what do I ask? So I think I should ask, okay, what are the very new trends in your business? And you can also highlight about your products. What is it you offer? Here you go.
Sure. Thanks. Hey everyone, Raunak here from Decentro. So Decentro is an infrastructure platform that enables lenders to go about doing your business. So essentially, we have about 3 core products. One is KYC and origination. And I know what's going on in your mind right now. You'll be like, oh no, not another KYC company. This is probably the 325th KYC company to come and pitch saying, take my KYC, right? Obviously, like Kumaran sir mentioned, it's an ultra competitive market. You can't go there saying, yaar, mera Aadhaar le lo, or take this. There has to be a delta that you are able to generate for your customers. And luckily, in the last 1.5 years, we have been able to not only find that delta, but be able to drive great results for our companies using that. The second product is a regulated product. We've recently secured an RBI license to operate as a payment aggregator. So that's something where we want to help lenders to be able to collect money from their customers before it goes into the delinquency or the buckets, as we call it. And the third product is it's probably like the most innovative way of looking at it, saying that, okay, theek hai, KYC did not work, you didn't underwrite it well, and it goes to a delayed payment. How do we go ahead and cover or recover that money in the best way possible. And now you must be thinking, what is this guy in a pink suit going to tell me about debt collections, right? So we basically have spent a lot of time figuring out what is this ethos, or this is the DNA of the company. The only way for us to grow as a company is to really come out with a very disruptive or an innovative way of going about business. So it has to be a different way we look at it. So for example, I'll give you a couple of use cases where we've been able to change the way you do things. So in this room, there are about 50-60 people, and some of you or most of you must have heard about DigiLocker. So if you can do a quick show of hands, how many of you don't have a DigiLocker account here? Anybody here? One there? Only one? Okay. How many of you have a DigiLocker account? All right. So keep these hands up. But out of the people who raise their hands, how many of you have a DigiLocker account which you've not linked a particular document to? Okay, great. So we have a one hand there. So seems to be the wrong audience in the room. But think about what happens when people on my left side go to the market and lend, right? They're meeting taxi drivers who've never heard about DigiLocker. But they say that, okay, I want to onboard you and I want to lend money. I have transaction data. I just need you to do KYC and let's do DigiLocker. And then you realize that, yeah, these guys have never heard about DigiLocker, right? How do I cater it to their language? How do we make it vernacular? How do we make it simple and dumb enough for somebody to be able to go through the journey? And not a one size fits all. And that's how we've essentially brought about a delta in KYC. So similar stuff, most of you, probably lenders in the room, you faced problems with data quality issues on CERSAI and CKYC. So that is one of the biggest grouse that my customers have about CERSAI. Now, what if when we do a download, we're able to very quickly do two checks, right? First check, CERSAI says, hey, here you go, Raunak has a PAN number or a PAN card on CERSAI. Can we do a quick ID classification and tell you whether it's actually a PAN or not? Game changer. Then, there are documents which have an expiry date. So take passport, take driving license. As lenders, you cannot lend to them with an expired document coming through CERSAI. So let's check through a very simple OCR check again, whether the document is valid as of today or is it expired. These kind of small things which really make a huge difference for our customers are what we do differently from the market, and that's what's given us great results. And in terms of debt collections, essentially the way I look at debt collections, it's a very simple analogy. Collections or debt collections is like a game of cricket. So you have a ground and you have 11 people on it, right? Now, maybe your callers, or let's say all your standard communications is your wicket keeper. So you bowl a ball, the batsman misses to hit it. You want the wicket keeper to be able to catch that ball so that it doesn't go to the boundary. Now, these are all set up to do, okay, you know what, 100% messages sent out, 80% delivered, 60% read. Out of that, maybe 35% will give you some sort of collections within the first bucket itself, right? Now, you need somebody to be able to tell you that, okay, you know what happens when you miss this? When it goes, let's say the wicket keeper also misses it. Now, the ball is running towards the boundary. How do you stop it, right? Now, to do that, you need to be very smart about how do you approach all of the data that you have, because today you all have a, I would say, abundance or over saturated data. Yep. But how do you derive great insights from it? So for example, you have a borrower who is delinquent and they're not connectable. So either the phone is switched off or it's not reachable or they've blocked you. And you say, okay, we are going to send SMS and we're going to send WhatsApps and emails. Now, 3 days after this, you keep calling every day to check whether you're able to reach the customer or not. And this is your calling team. So you've got an office set up with callers doing this. Now, on the third day, what happens is the WhatsApp message that was sent gets read. Yeah. Now, that should be the biggest signal that, yeah, call this guy right now. This is the best time you'll be able to reach them. And you'll be surprised that lenders who have so much, they have a dialer, they have a progressive dialer, they have great communications like Sinch, they have all of this, but then they don't have somebody sitting and managing the central traffic telling you that, okay, call this guy now. And there's no way to optimize the productivity of these callers. So essentially you want to be able to optimize by saying, let's call the freshest DPDs, highest outstanding amounts, depending on the different logics that you configure. Yeah. That essentially is what Decentro does. So in essence, just to kind of wrap up, just be smart about it, right? You don't need to innovate. You don't need to bring something brand new because today the regulator is not going to like it. So how do you make the best of the infrastructure you have at your disposal to make it really smart? I think that's what we're trying to do.
Oh, wow. I think with that, I was also able to recall our older times, the way we were doing the verification of documents. The file is completely ready for disbursement. Last minute, the date of birth is wrongly entered, or the PAN number is wrongly entered, or the address, the PIN code is very different. The customer is waiting at the dealership for the card delivery, and your credit manager says, no, I think there is something wrong with this KYC. It looks like fraud. Let's say there was a classic case in Delhi. There's always a single name in the KYC. The PAN card holds a single name. So most of the time, my credit officer will always have a saying, no, ek naam nahi ho. It's not possible. So just imagine, guys, from where we have evolved, and today we are seeing a technology which can just give you a results in just a fraction of seconds. Wow. Wonderful, and best wishes. Yeah, with that, I think the texting and the messaging systems are taking a new avatar in this evolving world. So I have a good friend, Akshaya, Kumar, who comes with a legacy of technology and background, whatnot. Very interesting to listen from you, Akshaya. Akshaya is from Sinch, and all your perspective about the advantage of using the technology in our growing NBFC in the fintech world. Yep.
Thank you, Kumaran sir, for the wonderful introduction. So, if I have to just summarize what is it that Sinch does. Sinch primarily means easy in one of the European languages. That's the meaning of the word Sinch. And what do we do easy? We make communication easy. So whether the brand is trying to communicate with their end consumer, or the end consumer is trying to communicate with the brand, that's the layer that we work in, and we make it easy for both the entities to build a effective engagement. Now, all the leaders, since morning we've been listening to, and customer experience today is one of the key words on which businesses are working on, because they've realized if we give a good experience to the customer, we'll get repeat business. My only question to all the prospects that I meet and all our customers, the constant discussion is, can we build a perfect customer experience without probably tweaking the communication layer? If your communication layer is not effective, we can simply forget that the customer experience is not going to be there, right? Now, I look at two aspects as, we were discussing. Consumers want to connect with the brand, right? For which the brand has today created a mobile app, as you were mentioning, right? And we've created websites, we've kept a call center, we have WhatsApp, we have the social media of the world where all consumers can reach out to you, right? How do we first of all create an omni-channel experience from all these platforms? Somewhere organizations are missing that. Why? Because on a website, can I send a document to the customer and he gets it on his website without him logging in? Can I do that? Can I send him a video on my mobile app and make that mobile app highly personalized video so that, in my rural audience also, I don't have to send him a text because he's not going to respond to me on text. Instead of sending him a text notification, can I send him a personalized video notification on his app? Can I ask him to call from his app and not use his cellular network to then dial to a call center, right? So these are the so we call this product as Sinch Chat. We enable chatting experience on all your platforms and make it super easy for any organization to build an effective engagement, with their customers. So just to summarize, this is one aspect. The other aspect is when an organization wants to reach out, but I'll talk about it maybe later. But this is very powerful for us right now, and we're doing well on that.
Oh, amazing. I think, which also recalls a very humorous thing, which most of the time when we are dozing off in the office or when you are very tired, okay, there's always an alert. I'm sure your alerts are very different. I'm sure many of you are resting and I can see one gentleman fully resting there. And so these alerts are very interesting in our business. So which keeps you on your toes, and most of the time, the alerts also brings in a new perspective that you're supposed to do a specific job and do it right. So, Swapnil, I was just wondering to ask, what questions do I have to ask you, because you are the fully changed avatar, or what do I say, the fully transformed organization in terms of digital. I think you're the best example for us. But we are also a very toughly regulated system. I'm sure as an organization, you should be having your own challenges in terms of regulatory. Some viewpoints on regulatory so that we take away something from you.
Great question. So in my product roadmap today, for the next year, I would say about 35% of it is compliance. Okay. And typically, people like me would be complaining against it, right? That, oh, too much of compliance, and RBI should stay away and let the innovation happen. But a lot of us may not know that RBI actually has a thing called RBIH, Reserve Bank of India, RBI Innovation Hub, right? So I have to do my own roadmap and my own innovative roadmaps, and then there is compliance. But trust me, my viewpoint on this is that the regulator is also being very, very biased towards innovation. Yes, being a regulator, I think they cannot define everything. So it will be open-ended. And sometimes it bites us back. Sometimes to stay compliant, you have to probably give up your urge of innovating, because you have to first get compliant and then get this thing. But a case in point, I'll take 1 minute more. I think 2 years ago, RBI came up with this notion that instead of underwriting one microfinance customer on his or her personal his credit worthiness, let's call it that, instead of that, you have to look at the liability of the entire household, and you have to say that the entire household, the EMIs should not be more than 50% of their income for the month, so that you don't over leverage it. Now, I'm sure that there are NBFCs or smaller NBFCs beginning that just went under, just trying to accommodate this thing, because earlier our costs were onboard one person, underwrite one person, and do the whatever disbursals. Now you have to onboard the whole family, get their consent to pull their credit bureau, pay for that, stitch it into a household, deal with all the use cases of a lady got married, a person died, ghar mein bantwara, right? Lots of things that happen in the household. It's human beings interacting in a household, right? So how do you kind of quasi store that in a platformish system? But I fully stand with RBI on that, right? Because it's a good notion. Yeah. So it's a bat ball game. It's just fielding chal raha hai. So that's what is happening. But I think we are in a very, very interesting space regulation wise also. Yeah. Right now, for instance, I'm building a feature where RBI has said that you will have to have liveliness check of the picture of the person. So I cannot onboard a person by clicking a picture of their picture, right? And people like you are helping us do that actually. Yeah, Decentro.
Oh, I think thanks for the insight. Just a quote. Last Monday, we had a meeting with the RBI related to the innovations and the digital what the smaller NBFCs have to really look at. It was actually a very heartwarming response from RBI, and the kind of support they were trying to give us in terms of changing the organization. Most of the smaller NBFCs were not the digital fully changed entities, but it's really what is coming from the big father that digital is the only way forward. I'm sure I think most of the small entities here will also have a different perspective after this event and look at changing at least what is some part of your business into a digital mode. Last but not the least, okay, so why I say this, it's all about digital experience and customer needs instantly. You're going to say yes or no. Yeah, so I think I just got a hint from the organizers that we just have 3 or 4 minutes to go. So there's something called punchline in most of the times. So how do I say to all my speakers? So just take 30 seconds or a little lesser, and you can just have your closing address. So we are good to go. Balaji?
See, from a digital standpoint, every user is digital savvy. It's not that nobody digital savvy, because everybody is using e-commerce platform, ordering the food, booking the tickets. Everybody is out there. But we do have a digital platform for our lending. I order a food, I book a ticket, or on the other hand, I go and apply for a loan. Which one comes first? I ordered a food comes first, or my loan get processed and get disbursed first? So which one comes first? So there, if you can be before the food comes, no, I think you achieved your digital footprint.
Well said, Balaji. I think I'll...
Yeah, I mean, the last punchline would be that customer today, again, there's a lot of footprints that the customers are leaving behind. More than 900 million, people have smartphone. They have access to internet, right? As Devash was mentioning, Swapnil was mentioning that, it was a surprise that every house was having a smartphone. So there are a lot of digital footprint that are being generated. I think we should make the best out of it, right? Use technology. I mean, there's nothing to fear about. But yeah, regulations are must.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very nice, very nice. Yeah, Raunak?
Okay, cool. All of you must be hearing a lot about AI, and AI is going to take over a lot of things. And you all must be thinking about how do we bring in AI into our platform. So very quick question. Does anybody know the full form of AI? What is it? Actually, I have a different point. It's actually Indian, because Amazon had these stores where you could just go pick up stuff and walk out. They called it, I think, Shop and Go or something, where you didn't have to pay. They would figure out, they had cameras and all, and everybody was told it's AI. Then if you Google it, you'll find out a few months ago it was discovered, because it shut down, that there were some 1,000 Indians sitting in Hyderabad watching and billing it. So I'm not making this up. You can Google it, right? So don't get blown out by what's happening in the trends. As lenders, you really have to be prudent about what are your input metrics. So your input metrics are obviously what kind of data are you able to generate about your customers. So have strong and smart processes there. Be humanly smart about it. Understand the borrowers. And if things go wrong, we're here to help you with equally smart debt collections, right? So the infrastructure's there for you to really be smart about it, so that you can effectively improve and scale up your business much faster without you having to operationally increase your expenses as much. So be smart about it. I think that's about it.
Oh, absolutely. Well said, Raunak. I think that's what the point we look upon, because business is all about we design the business, right? It's not the system is designed. We design the business for benefit. I leave it to Udesh, your perspective on trends.
Yeah, I think I'll speak about the microfinance perspective. So there are two factors we should consider. One is the adoption of technology. We should be cognizant of the fact that the end user, which is the field officers, and the beneficiary, which is the woman folks lives in the lower strata of the city, both are not too tech savvy people. So whatever technology we come up with, it has to be adopted at their level. So that is one point. And second is the cost part of it. So the microfinance companies will work with a very thin margin. The regulatory compliance on them is very, very harsh. So, and it works on scale, because the volume we deal with is massive. So it works on scale. So if we able to do these two things, simple and affordable solution, I think then the sky is the limit. That's what my call.
Wow. Sky is always a limit, right, guys? Sky is a limit, right? Wow. So with that, I think we have the last speaker to giving his perspective. There's no question, actually. I leave it to you, because you are the man of alerts. You make people awake. Yep.
Yeah. So just to, there is a lot of discussion I've seen in most of our customers. They say we've invested in, a lot of platforms, and we are building journeys. These journeys can create a lot of triggers, and, we can communicate better and things like that. Our discussion point to all our customers today is that please look at every channel. There is so much depth in the channel itself. For example, if we look at WhatsApp, you can start your entire onboarding journey from WhatsApp. Your lead generation initially, you can close the lead. You can capture the details of the customer. On WhatsApp, you don't have to go anywhere. Close it, give him an onboarding document, send him a video about what he's purchased, even do the e-Nash, and sign him up on, various payment portals. And if he wants customer service, he can either chat or talk. So the entire journeys, entire experience can be built on that channel itself. For example, if you're investing in your app, that's exactly what you're trying to do, right? So we always, sit with our customers and we tell them, let's think how can we make it better? Because, all AI, NLP, all of these things in multi languages, customers can just record their voice and send it. Our bot behind understands what is the customer wanting to ask and sends him a voice note again. Because we see in the rural segments, a lot of communication is just happening without typing. They're just recording and sending their voice, and they're expecting their friends also to do the same. So that's what we invest in, and that's what we try to work with most of our customers.
Oh, absolutely. I think, guys, we had a wonderful time, great insights. I'm sure, I think there's definitely some takeaways. Dunya mushti mein hai. So with that, just leave it for a minute for any questions to come from the most active audience. Wow. Okay, before I close, AI and digital is just not an opportunity. It's a wonderful tool for you to use it the way you want to use it, the way you want to design your business and make a most impactful organization as you grow in this digital era. Thank you so much, guys, and thank you, speakers.
Check. Thank you, moderator, Dr. Kumaran Sampath. Indeed, it was very interactive session. Thank you so much. Now, I request our moderator, Dr. Kumaran Sampath, sir, to present the memento to our panelist. First, I request sir to present the memento to Mr. Swapnil Dixit. Please put our hands together, ladies and gentlemen. Next, I request Dr. Kumaran sir to present the memento to Mr. Balaji DK. Next, I request sir to present the memento to Mr. Udesh Ullas. Next, I request Dr. Kumaran sir to present the memento to Mr. Rohit Mathur. Next, I request sir to present the memento to Mr. Akshaya Kumar Batta. Next, I request sir to present the memento to Mr. Raunak Dembla. Now I request Mr. Ashish from the organizing team to kindly join on the stage to present the moment. Yeah, Mr. Anupam Gupta to join on the stage to present the memento to our moderator, Dr. Kumaran Sampath. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a huge round of applause to our moderator for the day.